What's going on, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we're going to be discussing questions that you should know the answer to if you're on your fitness journey. If you don't know the answers to these questions, then that may be the reason as to why you're not making progress, or you've hit a plateau, or you're struggling at all. So I'm going to send you guys over to my computer now, and we're going to run through all the questions that you should know the answers to. So I've got you guys on my computer now. We're going to run through all the questions that I ask myself whenever I'm not progressing, when I've hit a plateau, or when I'm trying to build a plan to train for something new, or when I have a new goal. These are also the questions that I happen to ask all these clients here. So if you're wondering if these questions actually do give us answers that can help us build the plan, they do, because all these results given down here are a byproduct of those questions being asked in order for me to build the most efficient plan possible. Now, transforming your physique is going to be a result of losing fat and building muscle. However, there are a lot of different ways to go about doing so. Something that I said in a previous video before was there's a million ways to skin a cat. I would never skin a cat. I love cats. Mine is sleeping so peacefully and sweetly right next to me here. So I would never do that to him. However, I'm just trying to insinuate that there are so many different ways that you can go about doing this. If you feel like there is only one way, you are going to operate inefficiently because you're going to feel like you're confined to a box. You're probably going to burn out and you're going to think that it's not worth it and that it's going to consume so much effort. When in reality, the amount of effort I'm asking you to give is not changing. I'm just applying a better plan. Right? So if you're somebody who works really hard and you feel like you should be getting further, you can be. You just need to put that effort into a better machine or a better mechanism. Now, I posted a video just recently about my mechanism. It's called the PI mechanism, simply because I build strategies that are tailored to your psychological and physiological attributes. So it's not just doing a one-size-fits-all thing based on the idea that you need to lose fat and build muscle. Yes, you need to lose fat and build muscle. However, there are certain patterns about every single person that will dictate what the best plan is for them. Those patterns can not only be your behavioral patterns and the way that you like to eat and the way that you like to operate, but also patterns that are like your lifestyle, your schedule, things like that. So yes, there are negative patterns that we must kill, right? We need to work on not being lazy. We need to be consistent. We need to do the things that we say we will, not just because that'll give us a better physique, but also because it'll make us more confident. However, there are other psychological patterns about us that don't necessarily need to be dismantled. We can tailor our plan to them so we're not in a constant state of suffering. So I call that the PI mechanism simply because the P and the Y are similar across the two words. So let's go ahead and get into all the questions that I have right here that I've not only asked myself, but every single person that I've helped in this journey. First off, what drives you? When you know what is important to you, why you are doing this, why this means something to you, when the times get tough, you can lean on that. There have been times when I have been going through prep, training for the half marathon, doing whatever it is that I'm doing, that I have to make a constant note of why, the why. It's never, oh, I want to look like this. I want to be skinny. I want abs. It's always something like, I want to prove to myself that I can do it. I want to do this because I secretly believe that I never thought that I could. I want to do this to show younger me that I'm all the things that I said I wanted to be. Something along those lines, because it is truly meaningful. Like, yes, you may start this journey wanting to get abs, wanting to be skinny, wanting to do a certain thing, whatever, but that's all stemming from an insecurity that you have within yourself. You want those things because you think it's going to cure that pain that you feel about yourself, that you're not enough, that you don't look good, that you're not attractive, that you're not worthy, whatever it may be. And I'm saying things because I kind of used to struggle with that myself. And also, whenever I ask these questions to people, after we take a couple steps back, we end up in the same spot. All of us end up in the same spot. Whatever is driving you is more than just wanting to look a certain way. Usually when you want to look a certain way, it's because you're insecure about something. It's because you want to feel confident. And being able to identify that is what's going to help you in the times when it gets tough, because it does get tough. And there are going to be times when, you want to binge, you want to skip, you want to give up, you want to say fuck it all. And when you experience that, you're not going to give a fuck about having abs. You're not going to give a fuck about being skinny. You're not going to give a fuck about some vanity-based shit. However, you are going to care about proving it to yourself. You're going to look in the mirror and be like, do you want to think you're a fucking loser? Do you want to be insecure? Do you want to sit here and let yourself down? Speaking for myself, I said no. There were plenty of times that I wanted to give up, and I didn't care about anything else except the fact that I said I was going to do something, and if I didn't do it, I was going to slowly become more and more insecure. And every time, even if it was very, very difficult, I knew I wouldn't regret getting up and showing up, because it's proving to not just me, but my younger self, who needed me,
that I'm capable and that I am who I say I am. I do the things that I say that I do, and I'm worthy of the level of confidence that I have. I'm worthy of it. This kind of goes hand in hand with the what drives you. Why are you looking to change? Now, I said that the what drives you usually is stemming from an insecurity. Let's look at that insecurity. Why are you looking to change? Why is it that you want to do this, right? Is it proving it to yourself? Is it you want to look a certain way so that you're more confident? Is it that you want to be respected more? Is it that you wanted to be treated better? So the what drives you and why are you looking to change go hand in hand, but they serve the same purpose and they help you uncover the same message about yourself and what it is that you're truly feeling. So next up we have, how is what you're currently experiencing negatively affecting you mentally and physically? Now this question is important because when we live life in that state of not wanting to experience discomfort, our brains will convince ourselves that we're just comfortable enough, right? It's okay, I'll lose the weight later. It's okay, I'll get that new job or take that risk later. I'm good now. Like everything's fine right now. Like I'll figure that out later. Sit down and say, how is what you're currently experiencing negatively affecting you? Okay, how is this job that you have right now that you know you don't want and you want to go get a better one or you want to start your own thing? How is that negatively affecting you? Every day that you don't do it, you're becoming more and more insecure because you won't take a risk, because you won't do the things that you know you secretly want. But your brain doesn't want to be uncomfortable, so it will convince you that you don't need to, that it's a bad idea, that you can stay here, that you can stay right here, it's safe, it's easy. Your brain will do that. Same thing with the weight. How is this extra 30 pounds that you're carrying affecting you? How is it affecting your confidence? How is it making it hard for you to perform at work? Do people respect you at work? Do you speak up at work? Do you share your ideas at work? 9 times out of 10, when I ask people that question, they say no because they're insecure. They're insecure in their appearance. They don't like the clothes that they wear to work. They don't like that, right? They don't go out in public into the real world and feel confident being themselves because they want to hide, because they want to wear baggy clothes. They don't want to be seen because they feel embarrassed. They feel insecure in that. But your brain will convince you, oh, it's okay. Like I'll lose those 30 pounds later. I don't want to be discomfort. Like I don't have enough time. You always do that. And so sit down and look in the mirror and be like, okay, how is this negatively affecting me? And just be honest with yourself. Have a fucking reality check in the mirror. I don't want to have this extra 30 pounds of fat. I don't want to be overweight. I want to be able to have a body that I can use. I don't want to have all my friends go out and I can't go with them because I'm huffing and puffing and I can't keep up with them. I can't keep up with my kids. I can't do that. I can't take risks at work or go for that promotion because I don't believe in myself because I'm so insecure. Look at that shit because I promise you it is affecting you and you will convince yourself that it's not or you will ignore it. So confront it head on. Take that shit on the chin. You're carrying an excess 30 pounds of fat. That's okay. Get the fuck up and get it going. Because not only is it going to improve your confidence, it's going to improve your health. And you know that. Very, very easy to live life on autopilot and sit here and convince ourselves that we are happy and we're okay because we're in a spot that's just comfortable enough for us not to change, but we know we're capable of more, we know we have more potential, and we know that it's not what we want. We know we want to be physically fit. Anyone that I could ask, if they were to tell me that they didn't want to be physically fit, or if they didn't want their dream physique, or if they didn't want to lose fat and build muscle, I wouldn't believe them. What they're really saying is that they don't want to put in the effort to do so. And they think it's because it takes a lot of effort. It takes a lot of effort when you have an inefficient mechanism. That mechanism, however, is not inefficient. So this is just facing reality, accepting that you don't like your current situation. You don't like your job. You don't like your life. You don't like your reality. You don't like being lazy. You don't like not having discipline. You don't like being inconsistent. You don't like being fat. You don't like feeling like you can't walk up a flight of stairs. You don't like feeling like you're weak, like your physique isn't functional. You don't like that. And I'm saying it to you straight up to your face because I sat there and I was like, oh, I'll do it later. It's not a big deal. Like, I'm just comfortable enough. And if there's anything that she needed, younger me, it was a fucking swift kick in the ass and being like, get up. You don't like this. You are unhappy. You are frustrated. You want more. You know you can do more. You want to be confident. You want to be disciplined. You want to be that person. You know you do. And part of it stemmed from me being embarrassed to say I wanted to be that way in fear that I never would be her. And now, I mean, obviously, from making the transformation and going through it and realizing that it is possible to come from any background and transform wherever it is that you think you are, you can. Now, all I want to do is encourage you to do the same. It's going to be intimidating. It's going to be scary. You're going to convince yourself not to do it. You're going to say you don't have enough time, that you're waiting for this, you're waiting for that, you're too busy. You're going to say that. It's all a cop-out, and you know it, I know it, we all know it. And I know this is another common thing on social media is you see everybody, all of us, already here, and you think that we've always been this way. I haven't always been this way. I used to literally think I was a loser. I used to be insecure. I used to not have confidence. I used to struggle to go to the gym. I used to not know what the fuck I was doing. I used to be so inefficient and I struggled so much. I used to be that. Unfortunately, I didn't post YouTube videos. I didn't post on Instagram. I didn't post that. But I'm telling you right now, we all come from different places. We all started somewhere else, and now we're here encouraging other people to do so. But don't let that fool you and think that we were never there, that we were never where you are, if not worse. I was not always like that. I've transformed, which means that I know that you can. If I can do it, I know that you can too. If you want to be that, if you want it, go for it. Do it. Because realistically, the difference between failing and succeeding is just the point at which you stop. The point at which you decide to get off the path and quit. That is the difference between failing and succeeding. You're either going to get there if you continue, or you're not, and you're going to fail if you stop. It's that simple. It's not a matter of if you keep going forever and it never happens, because it will, and let me be the one to give you that assurance. Because a lot of that is what plays into making this such a struggle. We don't have that assurance. We don't have that guarantee. And I mean, ask yourself this: if I were to guarantee you that this transformation would occur and you would become what it is that you want to be, would you do it? Would you do it if I gave you that assurance? If I told you right now, I promise you it will happen, would you do it? I hope and pray that you're nodding. If you're not, then I couldn't imagine why you'd click on this video. But let me be the one to give you that. I promise that it is going to happen if you keep going, if you do this, if you keep proving it to yourself. I promise. So next, let's look at what would this transformation mean to you. So going from where you are now to becoming that person that it is that you want to be, the one that is lean and toned and has a body that they're confident in, the one that has a body that is functional, that they feel athletic in, that they feel young in, that they feel like they can perform in, that leads for them to be confident in their work setting, in their life, in social settings, in their relationships, and ultimately gives them freedom. What does that mean to you? So being able to envision what it is that you're currently suffering in, by confronting it head on and stop living in la la land and really having a reality check that you do not like where you're at. And then looking at the future and saying, okay, this is where I'd like to be. How is that going to change? What is the gap? Like, how am I going to feel when I get there? How am I going to feel then? And being able to understand that it's going to be worth it. Just asking yourself those two questions helps you understand the true value, and that it really is a big deal, and it allows you to be free. And what I mean by freedom is that level of confidence, that level of assurance, that mental fortitude, that discipline. So next, let's get into some actual questions about what you're currently doing and how to find a bottleneck in your plan. Where are you lacking in training? What are you not doing? What is it? Because there's obviously something. Nothing just happens for no reason. Everything has a rhyme or reason to it. How consistent are you in terms of showing up on the days that you say you will? Pretty consistent, good. Okay, 5 out of 5 days, awesome. 4 days, awesome. Okay, what does that training structure look like? Oh, well, I kind of just walk in the gym and, I show up and I do this and I do that. Okay, so we're lacking in structure, so we just need a better plan. Realistically, you can build yourself a training split and follow it up for 8 to 12 weeks. And so picking the groups of muscles you want to hit on certain days, choosing exercises that train those muscles, keeping everything consistent for 8 to 12 weeks. Implementing progressive overload, keeping rest times consistent. If you've hit a plateau and you're consistent with your training regimen, you're following a consistent plan with structure, then maybe it's time to switch up the plan. How long have you been trying X method? That one's pretty simple. If you've been doing it for 2 weeks, go back and keep trying, because I promise you, I don't even think you've given enough time to see results yet. If you've been trying it for years, however, it's probably inefficient. So that would need to be changed. What results have you seen, if any? Now, I like to ask this question because sometimes we will make progress and not see it and not know. And I'm saying this from experience because I will sit there and convince myself that I haven't grown, I haven't progressed, I still look the same, and the difference is night and day. We experience body dysmorphia. It's really good to have a gym partner, a coach, a friend, somebody outside of your brain that can tell you, keep going, the plan is working, you are progressing. I also do this with my clients. They will literally be like, oh, I'm having a tough week, I feel like I'm not making any progress. And I will literally, I'll compare their stuff and I'll be like, look at this. I know you're frustrated, but look how far you've come. I'm not joking. Just the other day, someone texted me and she was like, I'm a little bit frustrated. I wish that there was more progress. I was hoping for more results. And I was like, okay, I read that. I was like, all right, let me look at what we got going on. Let me review your data. So I pull up everything. I'm doing the comparisons and I'm looking at her very first photo that she sent me. And I'm looking at the one that she had just sent me from last week. I'm comparing them. In the photos, it looks like she has lost 30 pounds. Right? And so I text her a picture and I'm like, I know you're frustrated. I know you want to be there already. I know you want the results. I know you want the fat gone. If we don't go back and review where we started and saw our starting point, we will convince ourselves that we haven't done anything. We'll be like, oh, we're not progressing, or, oh, I still look terrible. I still look bad, or I'm still not confident. But if you don't look at where you started along the way, you will forget that you're making progress. And I'm hoping that will give you some sense of motivation and a little bit of assurance in your plan and help you keep going. Those are all the questions that you should ask yourself if you're trying to build a plan, if you can't figure out where to start, if you've hit a plateau, or if you don't know what you're doing wrong. Ask yourself those questions. It'll help clear things up for you and figure out where you should move next. If you have any questions, drop them in the comments down below. If you want to personally message me, I will leave the link to my Instagram in the description of this video. And if you want to see more of me, click down there. You can see more of me on Instagram, as well as my clients and everything that I do on the day-to-day, especially for the summer shred. YouTube will recommend whatever video of mine it thinks you should see next up here somewhere on the screen. I will also put the subscription button to my channel there if you're planning on summer shred with me, you want to lose weight, or you just want to be confident. Go ahead and subscribe because I will help you do all of those things. And as always, do not forget to do hard shit, be confident, have the courage to be uncomfortable, and most importantly, do not forget how much I love you guys and I'm rooting for y'all. I will see you guys in the next video. Thank y'all so much for watching.